Sometimes, forgiveness isn't mercy at all, it's misdirection. A hushed, deliberate performance meant only to buy fate enough time to slide the dagger in unseen. Let me take you through how I played the long game patient, quiet, and cruel. I knew he was unfaithful long before he figured out how to hide it well. Before the lies got sharp and practiced, it was there in the way he suddenly couldn't pee without bringing his phone along. In the way he flinched barely, but enough when I reached for his coat pocket. In how his compliments started to sound less like affection and more like lines, rehearsed in the mirror. His name was Dorian. We'd been together nearly 5 years, 3 of them spent under the same roof. I once imagined walking down the aisle with him, maybe somewhere quiet in Iowa, with cornfields stretching far enough to believe in forever. I thought we were that couple, the kind who bickered over Netflix shows but still kissed goodnight, with forehead touches and fingers tangled. But love is cruel in its camouflage. It hides red flags inside charming quirks, wraps deceit. In comfort, lets rot bloom in silence. And the truth, it broke through on a day that looked like any other. I wasn't snooping. My phone had died, and I just needed a screenshot of a recipe I'd saved earlier. His phone was right there on the kitchen counter, unlocked, and then it lit up. One message. One single sentence that detonated everything I thought was solid beneath my feet. Last night was perfect. I can still smell you on me. My lungs stopped moving. My brain, traitorous and hopeful, tried to rewrite what my eyes were reading. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was sent by mistake. Maybe I didn't understand something. But deep down, I already knew that the sender was saved as Emily. There were heart emojis, timestamps, photos, one of them unmistakably taken in our bed. But I didn't cry. Not then. When he walked out of the bathroom a few minutes later, wrapped in a towel and humming, unaware the ground beneath him had just cracked wide open. I looked up, smiled, kissed his cheek. Waffles or pancakes? I asked. That night, I lay beside him in the dark, body motionless, breaths measured, heartbeat steady. But my mind, blazing. I already knew what needed to happen. But first I had to forgive him, or let him believe I did. The next morning, I sat him down. No shouting, just calm, deliberate confrontation. I showed him the screenshots, asked him who she was. His face drained, then flushed. He stumbled, first denial, then confusion, and then the typical excuses. He needed space. We had drifted. He was overwhelmed. I nodded through it all. Let a single tear slide down my cheek like a fragile woman trying to be strong. Then I whispered, "I forgive you," and something in him softened, as if forgiveness was a permission slip, as if betrayal could be swept beneath the rug with a gentle tone and a second chance. He didn't know that my forgiveness was performance art, a prop in the act of his destruction. In the weeks that followed, I collected everything, every message, every call log, every receipt. I even created a fake profile and messaged Emily, posing as a curious mutual friend. She was only too eager to brag. She told me everything. She had no idea she was speaking to the woman who shared his bed, who cooked his meals, who was orchestrating her demise. Meanwhile, I played the part of the loving, mending partner. I made his favorite dinners, surprised him with little gifts, told him I wanted us to start fresh. We even made love like nothing had broken. He thought I was rebuilding trust, but I was quietly constructing a case. Dorian worked for a company with a strict conduct policy. Cheating wasn't illegal, but sleeping with a contracted vendor, that was a different story. Emily was a freelance stylist for the very brand Dorian managed. Once I had enough emails, booking confirmations, hotel receipts, I mailed them anonymously to his HR department. The investigation started quietly, but I wasn't done. We shared finances. I didn't empty the account all at once. That would have been loud, suspicious. Instead, I moved small amounts, just a few $100s here and there, into an account, under my name, like a soft leak from a sinking ship. He didn't even notice. 3 weeks later, I overheard him whispering on the phone, telling Emily how much he missed her, how excited he was for their weekend getaway. I smiled, and then added, one final recipient to my growing collection of emails, Emily's FIANCE acute.o. Yes, she was engaged. A blissfully unaware man, already planning a wedding with a woman who moaned for Dorian between our bed sheets, that I sent it all. Every screenshot, every photo, even a voice recording of Dorian whispering that he'd never felt this passionate before. 2 days later, everything erupted. Dorian came home early from work, looking like he'd been hit by a freight train. HR had suspended him pending a formal ethics review. Emily's fiancé had stormed into her workplace, caused a public scene. She'd cried. Dorian had raged. And then he turned to me, eyes bloodshot. Trembling, "You betrayed me," he said. I blinked, widened my eyes just enough. "After everything," I whispered. "You still think I'd hurt you, Oscar-worthy?" That night, he collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. Confused, ruined, still blissfully unaware that the money was gone. The next morning, I packed a small bag, told him I needed space. He begged, promised therapy, change, a fresh beginning. I smiled. "Dorian, you already had your new beginning. With her, remember?" And I left. A week later, his termination became official. Violation of ethics clause, misconduct, breach of contract. Emily lost her contract too. Her fiancé reportedly packed up and moved to Colorado. As for me, I rented a bright little loft on the other side of town, started a new job, changed my number, slept without dread. I never answered Dorian's calls, not even the tear-soaked voicemail where he admitted he never really loved her. That losing me was his one true mistake. I believed him, but I didn't care, because I never forgave him. I just made him believe I did. While he relaxed, thinking he'd been spared, I sharpened every blade, set every trap, timed every fall. They say revenge is best served cold. But cold meals don't vanish. They linger bite by bite until the flavor is all that remains, and I made sure Dorian tasted every last morsel.